Well, here on the left side we have the Vor Dme runway 26 chart according to the code 26002, and here on the right side we have the IFR, Vor and Dme simulator software, the one that we're gonna use for this chart brief approach explanation. First thing that we need to know is that we are proceeding by ATC direct to the Echo Oscar Sierra Vor, which has the frequency 112.0, and so what we're going to do is just switch the frequency 112.0 to active 1 on our nav equipment, and we're gonna pull the identification button just to listen the Morse code that we have here below the frequency, just to be sure that is the correct nav 8 that we're gonna use over Echo Oscar Sierra for this airfield chart. Second one, we're gonna change the frequency from Leon approach and tower 112.0 according to the chart 112.0. And we gonna ask to Leon that we wish to proceed to the Echo Oscar Sierra Vor to start our approach for the Vor Dme runway 26. Well, when we clear by ATC to proceed direct to the Echo Oscar Sierra Vor, we need to take into account two things. The first one is about the MCA of the chart. In this case, we have an MCA where the Echo Oscar Sierra Vor, and we came in more or less through this sector, so we will expect a minimum of 4,500 feet. And secondly, we have the minimum holding pattern, which is in this case 6,000 feet, so we should be above 6,000 feet to proceed direct to this Echo Oscar Sierra Vor to start our approach fix. Well, secondly, what we need to do is to select on our Vor equipment the CDI on the middle, just to know in which radial from the station we are and which will be our heading to proceed direct to the station. So we will move to the left side the Vor until the CDI goes to the middle, and it will show us the radial that we are. We are approximately on a radial 127, and this shows us the heading to proceed to the station, which is 307. So we will left turn our plane to heading 307, and we will straight proceed direct to the station. Well, now you can see the plane, which is proceeding straight to the station. We should be somewhere else here, and we are proceeding to the station. Well, now we need to know that all initial approach fixes, normally they should have a holding pattern. So in this case we have a holding pattern of the Echo Oscar Sierra Vor, which is right turns, as you can see here in the figure, holding pattern, and our outbound course will be 258 and inbound will be 078. So what we need to do is to identify which is the entry that we should perform to start our approach from this initial approach fix. Well, according to the Vor equipment that we have here, we will identify which is the type of entry that we're gonna practice for this holding pattern. Well, as you can see, we are proceeding to the radial 130, more or less, inbound the station on heading 307 approximately. We're coming through here, and we have a right turn, so we're gonna use our right hand and we will see what is the entry according to our outbound leg. So 307 plus 70 degree, we will go to the tip drop zone, which goes from 307 until more or less 007 heading. All this leg will be for a tip drop one. And if we note that the 307 minus 110 heading, that will be this left side, it will go to our parallel entry one. So in this case, our outbound 258 should be somewhere else here, so our entry will be a parallel one. Now you can see here on the OBS the tip drop one, the parallel one, and the direct entry one. Our outbound is 258, so it should be on the parallel entry one. So let's go for the holding. So first of all, as soon as we pass the station, we will go to our outbound heading. That will be 258. Let's see what happens. We are more or less overflying the station. You can see that the CDI is moving. Now will appear the bars like we are overflying, as you can see, and now we are in the front sector. So we will left turn to heading 258. So we will left turn to heading 258. Well, when we pass a minute during this leg, we will also select here our inbound. We will be 078. So we'll change the OBS to 078. Okay, and after a minute we will make a left turn to coach 078 inbound radial. Remember all the time to tail the callouts. Radial is alive, and now radial should be coach when it is in the middle, and we will turn to 078. Okay, now we are performing the inbound leg towards the station, like in this area on the chart, as you can see. And when we pass the station, we will join on our right pattern for a normal holding pattern. We continue towards the station. We are still in the 2 sector, and when it passes the station, we will make a right turn to our inbound 258. Now we are here. CDI is already moving. Okay, it goes to front. Now we will make a right turn to heading 258. Sorry, 258. Continue making a right turn to heading 258. Okay, and now, which happen later, or when we are up in the station, or when we have the winds level, we will take time for our outbound leg. So we are still in the front. Now it goes to 2. So now we will take time for 1 minute, and we will fly during our outbound leg for 1 minute on a heading 258. Well, now is the time for a charge briefing. So we have the time to give to our flight instructor the charge brief before starting the VOR DME approach for this charge. Okay, it takes a minute, so we will make a right turn to coach our inbound. All this 180 turn should be as well for 1 minute. And we go to flying on the heading 078. Okay, we have the CDI in the middle, so we are proceeding now inbound the station. Well, we are still on the holding, proceeding to the VOR, and now is the time, as I showed before, for a chart briefing. Okay, so we have a VOR DME approach for runway 26. It's based on a VOR 112.0. We have already selected on our equipment 1 and it's on use, and we have already identified. The final course will be 258, and the minimum altitude on the DME 3.4 will be 3610, and the minimum for the approach will be 3050. Airport elevation, it is 2600 feet. Once we make the brief and we clear by ATC to the approach, when we leave the initial approach fix towards outbound radial 051, we will descend from 6000 till 4550 till DME 5.3, and before leaving the initial approach fix, we will complete the before descent and approach checklist on our plane. We need to calculate this path of descent to reach to the distance at the same altitude or where the chart says. When we have the radial 051 and we are on the DME 5.3, we will make a right turn maintaining 4550 until we catch the inbound course 257 from the VOR approach. We will descend passing distance 5.3 till DME 3.4 from 4450 till 3610, and on the DME 3.4 we have a final approach fix, so a mile before, approximately on the DME 4.4, we will perform our final checklist on our plane just to be completely stabilized before reaching our final approach fix. When we pass the final approach fix on the DME 3.4, we will continue descending to our minimums till DME 1.2 till 3050. We also need to calculate as well this vertical speed rate according to our gainer speed, the distance and the altitude that we should descend during this lap. Well, in case we don't see the runway when we are on our minimums, we will make a go around procedure that we will climb straight ahead to 6000, and when we pass 4300 feet, we will turn left, proceeding back to the Echo Oscar Sierra VOR for holding as instructed by ATC. Well, after completing the charts, now we are still remembered in the holding, proceeding to initial approach fix, and now we are cleared by ATC to the VOR DME runway 26 approach. Okay, so we will make our checklist for before descent and for approach checklist on our plane, and when we pass the station, we will fly on a radial and heading outbound 051. So we're gonna select plane on a heading 051, and we're gonna select as well our OBS on 051 just to have the radial in the middle, and we continue till DME 5.3. During this part of the approach, we need to descend from 6000 till 4450 feet during this descent path until DME 5. Let's continue with the approach. Okay, we are approaching to the DME 5.3. And what we're gonna do is, first of all, we're gonna select here on the CDI the final approach course that will be 5257. And we will start our descent. Be careful with these turns, because if you turn with the normal coordinated turn, probably you will be inside the radial and you will never coach. So go making a slowly turn until you see the CDI which is alive and then which is coach, more or less like I'm now practicing with the simulator. So now the radial is alive, And now, more or less, rider is coach, we can continue turning to 257. We have the royal coach. We pass the distance now 5.3 and we can descend till DME 3.4 to 3,600 feet, and approximately on the DME 4.4 we will practice our final checklist for landing. We will be now on the 3.4, we are completely stabilized, and we will continue till minimums. That will be on the DME 1.2 and it will be at 3050. We will always say the call out 500 for minimums, 200 for minimums, 100 for minimums, and minimums achieved. If we don't see the runway once we are on minimums, we will straight ahead continue with our miss approach procedure. And if we have the runway inside, we will continue on visual for landing.